morning, everyone. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Any public comments or questions concerning today's meeting or today's agenda? Seeing none, hold on. Need a motion to approve the December 4th, 2024 agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the November 20th, 2024 meeting minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the November 27th, 2024 conference minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve payment from the general fund in the amount of $800,209.89.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
The salary board. Motion to convene the salary board.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the November 20th and 27th, 2024 salary board minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to increase the hourly rate of Jonathan Biglione to $31.69 per hour effective December 5th, 2024 due to the terms of the agreement between Pike County and AFSCME District Council 87 for the completion of 2 years of service as a correctional officer for the correctional facility.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion to increase the hourly rate of Vincent Panzella to $33.87 per hour retroactive through December 2nd, 2024 due to the completion of 4 years of service as a correctional officer for this correctional facility.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, motion to adjourn the salary board.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reconvene the commissioners meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
All business, motion to authorize the chairman to execute change order number GC02 for a credit of $600.40 from Rutledge Excavating Incorporated for the Springbrook Road over Rattlesnake Creek Bridge Replacement Project.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the invoice in the amount of $2,432.50 from Tectonic Engineering Consultants for the Springbrook Road over Rattlesnake Creek Bridge Replacement Project.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to open bids for the sale of 6 transportation vehicles.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
We have 2 bids, one from Jersey, one from Tonelli Avenue in Jersey City, New Jersey. You wrote it down, but you didn't total it. Great. 5, 8, 6, probably around $20,000 for all of them. 22, maybe. Gonna have to add them up. He gave me a bid for each one. Was the bid requirement they could bid on any one, or they had to bid on all
It
six?
wasn't specified.
Wasn't specified? Okay. Looks like they both made the same bids.
They did on all of them?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, he bid on 6-2. He bid 308 on 3. And based on if he's using the same ones, you're gonna have to match them.
Okay.
Because I can't.
Okay.
It looks to me like Jersey wins.
Table to the 18th.
You gotta-
Yeah, we'll table it.
Yeah, you
Need a
gotta match
motion
each
to
one
table
individually.
until
You can't.
the December 18th commissioner meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to open bids for the purchase of the fresh bread and baked goods for the period of January 1st, 2025 until December 31st, 2025 on behalf of the correctional facility.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
We only have one. From,
Jimbo.
no, I don't know.
No.
I thought it was number 2.
She thought we were calling her that. They wouldn't do that. They would do that in public.
Oh, maybe two.
No, you wouldn't.
Total bid $105,055, and they gave us a bid bond, so. Take a look and see. No, it is Bimbo Bakeries USA.
Bimbo.
It's Bimbo. Bimbo wins again.
Well, we want to table it to the.
I'll take a
just
look,
to
but I'm
review
just
it.
saying it's
Okay.
one, so.
Motion to table to the
I'll
18th.
take one.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Under new business, motion to advertise the 2025 Pike County budget.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
You want to speak about this here, or you want to speak about it at the end?
We should speak about it now.
Okay. Since you're all here.
Man,
So this year's budget, we spent months and months going through this budget, literally months, page by page, line by line. Costs have increased, inflation has increased, everything has increased in this county as it has in the world. And what we've come to the end is that we're going to need to reluctantly, because we're never happy about doing this, is to increase the taxes in the county by a total of 3 mills. This is not one department. This is across the board. Some of them you will see, if the public looks through the budget, you'll see things like human services under children and youth, other services that have just, costs have just exponentially gone up. Beyond, in our defense, beyond our control. Some of these things, when you're dealing with services for children, you are held to whatever the costs are, because we are held to the state standards of making sure these children in those cases get the best care that they can get. It's an unfortunate situation, but that's the reality we're in. But then there's other things with healthcare that go up. There's also just increases in just the staffing of the county. We have an obligation to everybody that lives and works in this county to make sure that they're given fair and equitable salaries and medical. And the medical is another part of this that has raised, has gone up substantially. Again, beyond our control. We cannot control what the claims are that come into this county with people when they deal with their medical. So, it is a 3 mil increase. To give you an idea of where that constitutes, the average assessed value for a resident in this county is in the range of about $36,000. So if you do 3 mills, it's about $108 increase over the year. So it is an increase. We're not making light of that, but it's also everything goes up in this world. Which of us don't see increases in our insurance and see increases in just our general expenses at home? This happens the same in the county. We wish we wouldn't have to do this, but like I say, we've gone through, all three of us, page by page, highlighting every single line in that budget to see where we could possibly cut things, and we did. There are things that were cut, there were things that we scrutinized, but there was other ones that we just don't have any control over. The numbers are what the numbers are. We could maybe think that those expenses aren't going to mimic what they happened last year, because that's all we can go by, but that's not being fair to the taxpayers, because that would just push it all off, So I'll let Ron and Krista speak to this.
Yeah, I concur with Matt. This is a reluctant move that we have to do, and I think we have to do it to be responsible in leading the county. And Matt touched on the number of areas where there are increases, so I won't repeat them, but I think it's also important that we come up with a plan so that this isn't an every year occurrence, and it will not be an every year occurrence. And one of the things that we've done this year is increase the contribution that the employees are going to be paying for their health insurance coverage. The history of being employed by the county and many counties is that you had a low-paying job with great benefits, and now for the most part, we think people are fairly paid and still have great benefits, but the contributions have never kept up with what the private sector and businesses like my businesses and many other businesses around the county are doing, is that the employees are paying more into their health insurance to carry some of that burden. We are starting to do that within the county. So that we're going to take a number of steps to try to curb this and know that expenses will continue to go up, but look for ways to get out of that. And it's really good to see our state rep today, because another reason that that we struggle all the time is that getting reimbursements from both the state and the federal government in a timely manner. And we're lucky to have people like Mr. Olsummer here and Lisa Baker and Tara Probst that we can call on to make sure that we're getting reimbursements not only for what we're submitting, but also in a timely manner. And we need to do better in that area so that we're not carrying the burden for things that are mandated by the state and reimbursed by the state. So we'll be looking for continued cooperation in that end. But again, it's our hope that this is something that isn't a normal every year occurrence like you have in most school districts in the area, and that we can find ways to not have an increase in future years.
Well, as a wife and mom, as you all know, the bottom line is very important in my household, as I'm sure it is in all households. And I, like my colleagues, we're not happy about having to make this increase. But at the end of the day, taxes are communal. And so we all pay what we have to pay in order to have the services that we come to rely on. And the county's no different. We do have a high number of children and youth cases that kind of drove the number, in addition to many other things. Again, to Ron's point, it wasn't just one thing. But we have to be mindful that some of these folks that we serve are not income producers. And so we have to step in as a community to help to make sure that the least of us are taken care of and that the continuation of services in the county are delivered. So with that, we will be taking a closer look, I think, next year at how we move forward to ensure that we are doing all that we can, and we will continue to do all that we can to make sure that costs remain low, but some things are out of our control. And none of us are happy about this, but it is the responsible thing to do as far as the county is concerned.
Questions?
Do you have what percent would that be?
12.
12%? And how many years have you gone without a?
No, we had an increase last year also.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, we had probably a 9 or 10%. You know, it's the same thing. If you look at last year's budget, you will see we tried to curtail expenses, but some of the expenses are almost the same. You know, and you know, when you look at all of us living in the same world, we see what's going on in the world around us with the increase of medical and all of these services. That's just driving every year. You know, all we can hope for is that moving forward into next year, when we do 2026's budget, that these expenses settle. You know, that they don't continue to go up. There isn't inflation that's driving these. But you know, that's what we have a budget for. So that's why we're holding it at this. And hopefully be able to control this for next year's moving forward by finding other funding sources, but also at the same time hoping that expenses don't rise as fast as they have in the last 2 years, you know, or even 3 years. You know, some of this, you know, goes back, and I hate to, and you see this in the news. This goes back to COVID. This goes back to when there was a loss of a massive amount of money by counties through different revenue sources in this county that we had to hold taxes then, where maybe we should have been raising them during those times also. But we also saw the economics going on in the county, that was not a time to be increasing taxes at all, and we didn't. But at that time, we were losing revenues. So it's a matter of just, you know, we put a budget together and make sure that this budget is the one that will be able to be, with these revenues, can carry us through even through 26.
One last point I did want to raise was about our aging population, which, as you know, is a quarter of the county. They rely, I think they're probably our biggest customer in terms of the utilization of services here via the shared ride service and our aging department. The meals are going to be reduced. Like, there are reductions across the board. There are a lot of things happening countywide that I think, you know, show that we are trying to be responsible. And again, we will continue to do so. But I just did not want to not mention our aging population.
Yeah, one more thing, Doug, and you asked a really good question. And when we were faced with putting a budget together last year, the initial number that we saw, that when we added everything up, was adding up into a 20-25% increase in taxes in order to cover that budget. So we did our best to pare that down. But it is a result of the pandemic and the increases in not only inflation, but the cost to employ people. And as a business owner, I face this on an everyday basis, and we have the ability to raise rates and raise what it costs to do certain activities in order to cover the increases. In the county, we don't have that ability other than going to the public and raising more money through the public. So it's a little bit of a different scenario, but it's the same reasons. We also shoulder the responsibility of participating in our EMS program throughout the county, and we knew when we did that that was a forever move and that would be impactful. And some criticized us by saying that we were gonna be taxed for it, and that's exactly the case. They are taxed for it, and they are paying a small amount so that we could stabilize the EMS system in the county. And that's a burden and a responsibility that we took very seriously, but one that we felt was the most important thing we could do, and continue to feel exactly the same. We would not reverse that decision, but that decision of putting more than $2.2 million back into the community to have sustainable EMS services is really, really an important decision for the commissioners and part of our responsibility. So I think all of that added together leads us to these couple of years where we have to find a way to get to a point where we're at a point where we can sustain it into the future. And we believe that this responsible move this year puts us there, and we'll work hard in order to work within this criteria going forward. So I think that's a good question, and again, a difficult thing to deliver, but part of our responsibility as elected officials to make sure that the services provided by the county continue to be provided at the highest level that we can provide them.
Anyone else? Okay, I'm sure there'll be more discussion. On to number 2, motion to execute the County Children Youth Service Social Service Program Act 148 certification statement for the period of 7/1/24 through 9/30/24 on behalf of the Children and Youth Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to execute the Office of Children, Youth, and Family First Transition Act invoice claim on behalf of the Children and Youth Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to authorize the chief clerk to execute the PBM agreement service addendum from Express Scripts.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the Human Services Development Fund payment voucher in the amount of $6,427.48 on behalf of the Office of Human Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the 2023 Community Development Block Grant Program payment voucher payable to Pro Solutions Home Renovations LLC in the amount of $7,813 on behalf of the Office of Human Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the Pike County Home Program payment voucher payable to Frank Deish in the amount of $700 on behalf of the Office of Human Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Under miscellaneous, we have the Penn State Extension calendar of events for everyone's information, and then we have press and public comment. Are you here to say anything, Mr. Olson?
I'm just here, yeah.
Just to listen.
Yeah, just here to listen. I, was down this way and wanted to come down this morning with Jill and pop in and say hello and let you know I'm still around.
Good to know.
Yeah, good to be here. Glad to participate in your meeting.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
So carried.